Mario. I might be at the wrong park. There's no doubt about it, Mario is the biggest video game franchise on the planet, and ever since his debut in the 80s, he's done nothing but grow in popularity. But as things grew and the money poured in, Nintendo decided it was time to take Mario to more than just video games. So in 2015, Nintendo and Universal Studios announced their collaboration in building a brand new theme park. But I think this fact often goes overlooked, because what else was Nintendo doing in 2015? Oh yeah, losing money. But it was okay because Nintendo turned things around in 2017 and the park officially opened in 2020 to coincide with the Olympics coming to Japan that same year. Oh right, almost forgot about that. Anywho, the park was delayed until 2021, which then it officially opened for the public. That was great and all, but if you're like me, there was no chance you'd make it to Japan, especially only a year after 2020. It wouldn't be until late 2023 when the United States got their first Super Nintendo World. In Hollywood, California. Yeah, at the time I was jobless at 21 years old, and now I am 23. So there was no way I was going to be able to afford a trip to California, let alone Universal Studios. But as of 2025, Universal opened Epic Universe, a brand new theme park including 4 immersive worlds packed with incredible detail to make the average park goer feel like they've been transported into a new world of their dreams. Yeah, forget 3 of those, it had a Super Nintendo World, and I finally got a chance to go. So, I got up at 6 a.m. Florida time in an attempt to get into the park as soon as it opened, and lucky for me, I did. Now, I've seen plenty of pictures and videos of this park online, but nothing could have prepared me for that first walk through that warp pipe. Regardless of showing up extremely early, the park was incredibly busy, so excuse that, but the second you exit Peach's castle, it hits you like a train. I mean, this environment is so particularly handcrafted, so much so that everything feels so familiar. Like, if you spent as much time with this series as I have, you can't help but shed a single tear of joy as you walk into this wonderful land. Then that tear quickly fades when you remember you need to spend near $50 on top of your ticket just to do everything right. You have to buy one of these, a power-up band. This thing syncs to your phone and tracks your progress as you move through the park. You'll use it to collect coins, win minigames, and overall keep track of everything you do. Now, the price point is a little steep, yes, but at least when you bring these home, they double as amiibos, so they're not just like garbage you keep around until next time you go to the park. Anywho, the park is packed with many interactable challenges and minigames, all of which are cool. But if you want to do something just as simple as hitting a question block, you need the power-up band. Like, you cannot experience anything in the park without it. Look what happens if you hit the block without the band versus with it. Yeah, no, the amount of kids I saw hit a block without a power-up band, then get sad when the block made a thunk noise rather than a coin noise was way more than I could have imagined. Then again, I saw many kids slam their heads on blocks and proceed to cry, so it seems like it's a lose-lose situation for our future generations all around anyway. But in my experience, I had to plan this out incredibly precisely. I went during the peak time of the year, so I had to make an itinerary. But before I can explain my plan, I gotta explain how the park works. Because this thing has a story mode. The story itself is rather simple. Bowser Jr. steals Princess Peach's golden mushroom, and instead of going to get another one, she demands you go and get it back. Keep in mind, in games like New Super Mario Bros. 2, these things are everywhere. But who cares, you're off to go get it. But how do you do so? By defeating 3 of the park's 5 boss battles. Yeah, you heard me. This theme park has boss fights. To get to Bowser Jr., you have to collect 3 key coins, 5 of which are hidden in the park, each one guarded by one of Bowser's main baddies. The first thing you'll see as you enter the park is a Goomba on a rolling hill guarding his precious key coin. This is the first boss fight, Goomba's Crazy Crank. There's gotta be a better name than that, right? Well, regardless, to defeat him, you must spin Goomba's crank. Nope, heard it as I was saying it. Anyway, you spin the crank fast enough to knock the Goomba off his hill and the key coin is yours. Now this challenge, being a Goomba, obviously isn't that hard. But what I think is really funny, if you lose one of these challenges like 3 times, the park plays a Mario death sound, and you get booted to the back of the line where you have to wait to try again. I saw some people get back in line for some of these like 6 times. That sucks, but that's really funny to me. Next up was Koopa Troopa Power Punch. This one's really cool, actually. You have to time a chain reaction through the POW blocks to send a Koopa shell through a pipe, giving you a key coin. Following that, you have to sneak into a piranha plant's lair and steal its key coin by shutting off all the alarm clocks around it, or else it'll wake up and you'll lose. Then you have to hit all the flip switches in Thwomp's cave, and finally a Babam scatters key coin shards around its cave as you have to get them back. Honestly, each of these are pretty fun. They are rather short, but that's for the best, especially on days like I went where there was a million people that want to play these. Keeping them short moves crowds through much quicker. Once you collected 3 of the key coins, you can head over to Bowser Jr.'s Tower, which is literally an attraction that is gate-kept by these key coins. When I say you need 3 keys to get in, the employees make you scan a lock, and if you don't have 3, they'll turn you around to go get more. In concept, that's honestly really cool. In execution, it's great for people like me who play the game, but for those who didn't, there's a whole attraction they just miss out on because they didn't play the minigames. As for the final boss of the park, I didn't get any footage of it because there really wasn't a good place to set your phone, but how it works is your shadow is projected on the wall in front of you and you use your silhouette to launch bombs at Bowser Jr. It was cool, but at the end of the minigame it does this little thing where you have to charge a jump and then launch to the final flagpole and the speaker yells out, "Ready? Jump!" Like I'm a toddler, and never once have I felt, man, I am way too old for this than when the game did that to me. Moving on from the main story, the park's real main attraction is Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. Now before we get to the ride, the line queue has you walking through Bowser's castle, and the details here are incredible. You walk through Bowser's library, which is a treasure trove of Mario references, then followed by a Babam factory as you finally make your way to the Mario Kart loading dock, where you can clearly see this was designed in 2015, because everything is Mario Kart 8 themed. And well, with how well that game sold, that's probably for the best. Now this is an augmented reality ride that's going to do nothing but overload your senses as you power down the track. This one is an actual ride, not a mini game. But it is also a game. Each card is attached to a track, yes, but as it goes, to earn more coins, you have to drift correctly with all 4 players in your group. But while that's going on, in your AR goggles, which were surprisingly comfortable by the way, a bunch of other racers will be flying down the track. You have to grab shells on the track to throw them at Bowser and the Koopalings to earn points. Unfortunately, I didn't get any footage of this one because 1, they said not to, and 2, I scanned my power-up band on the cart too early and one of the employees yelled at me for it, and I felt really bad, so there was no way I was whipping out my phone. But as for the ride itself, I know a lot of people were really disappointed that it's not like a fast coaster, and yeah, I kinda get that, but I mean, what they built here is a lot of fun, and if you can get over the why isn't this a thrill ride mindset, there's a really good time to have here. I rode it 3 times, one of which the goggles didn't sync correctly, and if that's the case, just enjoy the set pieces as you go. It's very pretty. But overall, it's a really solid ride when it works. There's a lot going on though, so be prepared to be overstimulated like crazy. After getting out of Mario Kart, we were all rather hungry, so we headed over to the Toadstool Cafe. Now I really wanted to check this thing out, but normally this restaurant is packed. So much so that they'll turn you away because of the amount of people eating there. And saying that when we went it was peak season and the park was already packed when we got there, I was assuming there was no way we'd get in. Thankfully, since we all skipped breakfast, we got there at 8:45 a.m. and the lunch rush was nowhere to be found. So you walk through the cafe, Chef Toad greets you as there's plenty of Mario items on your walkthrough. Then you get to the dining room, which is incredibly detailed like the rest of the park. It even has windows with screens on it so you can see the Toads living their life in Toad Town. It really feels like you're in the heart of the Mushroom Kingdom, so much so that every 10 or so minutes, Bowser unleashes a full terrorist attack on the Toads while you enjoy your meal. As for the food, I can tell you with full confidence, I am not the right person to be reviewing this. I am an incredibly picky eater, so all I ordered was the Mario burger and I requested they take everything off. The burger itself was fine. That's the best I can say. As for the other food, if I liked meatballs and could handle spice, I would 100% get Bowser's Meatball Challenge because it's so funny to me. It's just a 1-pound meatball covered in cheese and hot sauce, because that's exactly what I want to eat when I'm at a theme park. Next up, we hurried over to Donkey Kong Country, a much smaller area hidden in the back of Super Nintendo World. Now this is purely here for Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, the park's only thrill ride. We'll get to the ride in a second though. As for the land itself, the Donkey Kong area is very pretty, yes, but it has a lot less to do, obviously. Aside from a Rambi minigame, there's like 6 other collectible things with your band. It's clear you're here for the ride. Now when we got here to DK Minecart Madness, there was a 200-minute wait, which means for over 2 hours, I listened to the Cranky Kong animatronic, which yeah, it was really impressive, but he spouts the same nonsense over and over about his golden banana. As for the ride itself, definitely top 10 roller coasters of all time. The ride has you getting in one of the classic Donkey Kong minecarts as you barrel down, no pun intended, a rickety old track. The cart itself has a speaker in it so you can hear the classic Donkey Kong music booming and the clanging of your wheels hitting the track, which brings me to the best part of the ride. Yes, there's a track, but you're not actually attached to it. The ride operates on a hidden beam that's not visible to the rider, giving the feeling of jumping from track to track. I was worried it wouldn't feel natural, but they really pulled it off. Genuinely one of the best theme park rides I've ever been on. After that, I went over and rode Yoshi's Adventure. It's a basic tour of the park. It's not a bad thing at all. It's just a slow-paced ride where you get in this Yoshi Abomination cart and overlook all of Super Nintendo World. It's really cool to see the park from up here, and all the set pieces around you are just as beautiful as ever. The line queue was also pretty neat. It's just weird hearing Toadette speak in full sentences, though. At that point, the only thing I had left to do was stop by and buy some merch. They were selling basic Hot Wheels for $15. I'll be 100% honest, I went in expecting to buy a whole bunch of merch, but I think the merch was kind of a letdown. Of the exclusive things there, some of it doesn't look all that great. But not to say I didn't buy anything, here's my haul. We got this sick Mario Kart 8 statue, but wait, it's also a popcorn bucket for some reason. We got this 1-Up drink cup, fitting for a 1-Up guy like myself, just don't take the lid off of it. We got this wind-up-a-bomb keychain, way too many power bands, and my personal favorite, this Super Nintendo World figure. And for this last item specifically, I didn't get it from Super Nintendo World in Florida. A while back, I bought this bad boy online, and if I ever get a chance to show it off, here it is. This is straight from Super Nintendo World, Japan. After that, I went to meet all the mascots. All their costumes were really well done, so much so that they both blink and talk, which was kind of scary, especially when Luigi got like half an inch from my face. Then, Princess Peach asked me if I won a Mario Kart race and started to spin and dance around, so I just stood there awkwardly like a loser. Unfortunately, Donkey Kong and Toad weren't there the day I was for some reason, and I'll be honest, I was pretty devastated. I mean, forget Donkey Kong, but the day I meet Toad is the day I can die happy. After all that was done, it was just time for me to hang out and enjoy the park. Or so I thought. Something I neglected to mention is that the park is one big interactive game, which means it tallies the scores of all the players playing in the park around you, and if you win, your little username gets to go up on the board that everyone can see, which meant I had to lock in. So everything in the park gives you coins. Coins are what you need to move up on the leaderboard, but if you want to win, you can't just run around willy-nilly, you need a plan. Thankfully, the app has a bunch of stamps you can collect. Getting a stamp will give you a bonus on top of the coins you earn. So yeah, this theme park has boss fights and achievements. I didn't think it would be too hard to get the top, but this one guy on Team Yoshi always seemed to be 5 points ahead, so I had to focus. I went around and collected as much as I possibly could. I was doing everything, and I was doing it over and over again just to get all the stamps and be the champion of Super Nintendo World for one day. I was doing things I didn't even know were a thing. Like if you do a key coin challenge a second time, a Bowser Jr. sound effect plays, and now you're doing hard mode for even more coins. I was doing literally all that I could, but it was getting late and I eventually had to throw in the towel. That guy just kept collecting coins. He was always 5 steps ahead. So for the rest of my fleeting moments I had at Super Nintendo World, I just enjoyed it. I took in the atmosphere that I knew so well because this theme park was such a delight. If you're a Mario fan like me, this is your literal paradise. I mean, it's one giant Mario game. I don't think there was a better way to adapt the series into a theme park than this. The rides were all pretty solid, if not incredible. The food was okay, but at the end of the day, the main reason you go to Super Nintendo World is to literally be transported into the Mushroom Kingdom. I mean, pictures and videos don't don't do it justice. Everything here was so well thought out and so incredibly well done. There truly is nothing out there like this. I adore Super Nintendo World, and I would highly recommend anyone take a trip there if they can, because this park is just so absolutely wonderful. You really think I'd let somebody beat me? No. No, I wouldn't. Because I made sure I won Super Nintendo World.